Hello everybody, my name is Cul Blu. I bring you guys random podcast number 60, and this is number 60, so it's an extra special one. That is right, guys, I'm going to be doing a giveaway. Actually, no, I take that back. I'm not going to be doing a giveaway. The main reason for that is because right now is a Steam summer giveaway sale thing, so I'm actually going to be stocking up on things to be given away in the future, so as a result, I will not be giving away things right now, but it's a perfect prime time for me to actually go collect some stuff, so I'm going to be buying a whole bunch of stuff. And then hopefully one day give it out to all of you guys, and you guys are like, hey, cool, we got this game. Was this on sale like 2 days ago? And then you guys will be sad because I sadly am cheap. But you guys don't need to know on that. The only thing you guys need to know is that this is a random pubcast, and random pubcasts are fun because they can be well, they're random pubcasts. This is a random pub I jumped into. I just searched for one randomly, of course. Have to throw random in as many times as I possibly can. And I'll just go ahead and cast it as it goes. I'm actually targeted to do a viewer replay cast or POV and then a viewer replay cast for the next time. But I ended up being on a slight time crunch, and I decided to, instead of finding myself a viewer replay cast, I was below 30 minutes because I really want to hurry up and get this cast done so I can go to bed because I do have a long day of work ahead of me tomorrow. I decided to go ahead and jump into a random pubcast, and this is not really all that safe of a thing to do because random pubs can last quite a long time, or they could last quite a short amount of time. So it really depends on it's really a big gamble. That's what I'm trying to say, and it really depends on what we do see in these games. But let's be honest, guys. In pubs in general, once the ball gets rolling, it doesn't stop, and that's kind of what I'm hoping happens. Not saying I really want to see a short game, but I really want to see a short game. So I guess I am saying that. Anywho, no team is fully picked up just yet, but this was an all pick, so these guys are going to be taking their sweet time. We will be seeing Abaddon for the first time on my series of casts. That is, I was going to play Abaddon in my POV. You guys should definitely keep a lookout for that. Abaddon, from what I've played, is pretty difficult to play. It's really difficult to remember that his ulti is most useful when he's low HP, as opposed to trying to pop it at the beginning of a fight and then jump in and try to kill everything when you're full HP. That's totally what I do a lot, even as a support, or even as a semi-carry role, which is pretty much just build up as much attack speed as possible. But anyway, hopefully we'll be seeing some cool things coming out from him, like maybe a semi-carry Abaddon as opposed to support Abaddon, because Abaddon he's a pretty interesting case. He can either be a support, or he can be a carry. One of my friends explained it the best. I think he's pretty much a carry that supports, which I thought was funny. Anyway, so let me go and do introductions. Start off on the Dire side, or Radiant side, since they were the ones that picked up all their team people first, or their players first, heroes first. Starting off with Sand King, we see Durbin on him. Moving on, right on back behind him, we see YouTube/UVA Fista or Uva Fista. I'm not too sure how you pronounce that, but definitely go check out his YouTube page. I do try to give as many plugs as I possibly can whenever I do see him, because that is freaking awesome. These guys are the ones that make it possible. Hold on, we actually might see a Geyser having on bottom. Windrunner in a lot of trouble, taking quite a bit of damage. Pops a Windrunner, tries to run around on the backside. I think she might still be going down. There will be another stun coming out from Leshrac, and there's a slow coming out from TA. Easiest stun in Leshrac's life. If he does, nope, the slow did run out. But they're going to continue to go for it. Burrow Strike coming out from Sand King. Will it be able to kill her? Yes, it will be able to kill her. First Blood should be going to these guys, and First Blood does go to Leshrac. Easiest kill of his life. Meanwhile, Sunstrike coming out from Invoker. Not enough damage. You must construct additional pylons, is exactly what it just said. And I'm getting a little bit too used to saying that. I'm sorry, guys, but StarCraft is like flashing back on me. And also, another thing to state is that I'm having a few internet issues, so hopefully this one does go all the way through, or hopefully these guys do finish very fast. Because otherwise, I'm not gonna have a cast for tomorrow, which would make me pretty darn sad. So anyway, continuing with introductions on this Tinker, we see Kinho on him. Moving on mid to this Mirana, we see FJAJIQWMIOJ. I think it just face rolled on the keyboard and that's what popped up. So we see that person on that Mirana, or Potom, Priest of the Moon, whatever you guys want to call it. And last but not least, for the Radiant side, that is, we see Cruel. I shall call you Cruel. On that Phantom Assassin. Moving over to the Dire side, start off with this Abaddon. We have Lone Demon, and hopefully we do see some awesome things happen from him. It looks like he's going to be getting supported by this Rubick, who looks like he's pretty darn angry. What is that helmet? It looks so scary. I don't know, I can't say what it's like, but it just looks weird. But on this Rubick we see oh man, Tinker might be going down. A few more auto attacks, all they need. Oh, Abaddon, not enough damage. He will be able to finish off one more auto attack, but he might he's in a little bit of trouble. Rubick can't tank it up just yet, or can't tank up the tower just yet. Actually, he goes down to the tower, so Tinker was able to pick up a kill because of that. Not collecting XP, but he does collect the gold from that. And now Abaddon is going to be able to march his way on out of here. He does have his apothic shield up on him, so he's going to be able to dodge a tower shot or two. It's worth of damage, and Tinker's just going to go ahead and shoot him away. Meanwhile, we got TP coming in from Rubick. And yes, continuing on to introductions in this jungle, on this nature's prophet, we see Koala with a C instead of a K on him, and on this Invoker, who did try to throw a Sunstrike to get an early kill, but it wasn't enough damage. We see Rubos. We see Rubos on that Invoker, and down bottom on this Windrunner, who might be going down once again. Actually, she does a really nice job to dodge that split earth. She knew exactly where Leshrac wanted to put that, and we see Digu on that Windrunner. And man, these lag spikes are pretty darn bad. Hopefully this doesn't persist. I don't know what it is. I think my parents are watching the YouTube videos of a very important trial case. I'll say that much. That's all I'll say about it. But they're very interested in it, so they're gonna go ahead and watch it and probably sucking down the bandwidth. So I'll totally see how it feels when somebody sucks the bandwidth from me. Sad days, sad days. Rubick taking quite a bit of damage up top. He was stuck inside the March machines for temporarily because he was trying to kill the creeps stuck inside the trees, but Tinker doing a really good job just forcing him out of there. This will be a max March machine Tinker by the looks of it, so hopefully we do see some. Hopefully he'll be able to get those boosted travel and just TP all around the map and kill everything. Meanwhile, did I hear Handamitis? I think I heard a Handamitis on Prophet. Prophet Handamitis should be up. Nope, he has nothing right now. Meanwhile, mid, we got engaged with Holy Crap. Where these guys come from? Invoker does go down. Leshrac, or not Leshrac, Mirana able to finish off. The roaming support coming out from Leshrac and Sand King. I definitely need to pay attention to the minimap a little bit better. But they were able to pick up the kill for the troubles, which is very nice, especially considering the fact that Phantom Assassin pretty much has an easy lane down bottom. Windrunner, all she can do is Windrun away, and she's actually only level 2. She actually opted to point a point inside of, well, she still hasn't decided yet. She might be going for Power Shot, she might be going for Shackle Shot, she's not really sure which one she'll go for. Meanwhile, top, Abaddon does go for a Ring of Health first, which I'm not a fan of at all. I think it's a complete waste of his abilities. Instead of going for that first, he could be going for a Tranquil Boost, just pretty much build Centaur style. And Tranquil Boost would give him all the regen that he needs, but I think he wants to have regen because of Tinker doing all the poke damage well. And actually, these guys will be able to pick the kill off the top of Abaddon. He's not level 6 yet, so he's not going to be able to absorb a whole bunch of free HP. And he does go down. Soul Ring up on Tinker, so he's going to go Soul Ring first. Possibly Soul Ring, Blink Dagger, and then, Soul Ring, Boosted Travel, Blink Dagger. Which is something that you commonly see often on Tinker. Maybe we'll even see a Dagon. But so far, things are of course not working out all too well for the Dire. The Radiant have been doing well. The supports have been roaming around very well. And actually, they might be able to find themselves a kill on top of Prophet. There's this observer placed inside the jungle, so these guys will know where Prophet is. Prophet decides to go ahead and back away. He knows that his jungle's not necessarily as safe as he wants it to be. He's only level 4. I think he's going straight up for a Handamitis. Yeah, he's going straight up for a Handamitis, so he's probably going to try to buy it all at once. Just in case he needs to spend his gold before he dies to buy something useful like Power Treads or Ring of Basilius or Mechanism. Headdress, that is. As far as the last hits and denies go, we can see that Phantom Assassin is having like I said, quite an easy time down bottom. Windrunner only has 4 last hits, but this is to be expected in the Suicide Lane. The best comparison you can give is to compare the Suicide Lane to Suicide Laner. In mid, Invoker taking a lot of damage. He will be going down to the Leshrac. Leshrac Diabolical Edict able to finish off, but that looks like a Mirana stun, Sand King stun into a Mirana stun into Leshrac, split earth into all the damage to follow up, and Invoker's HP. I saw it rapidly going down, but I couldn't click fast enough because hey, I'm a noob, I'm too slow. I had to type in things one key at a time and stare at it like a boss. Meanwhile, we see Tinker just TPing back up top. I think did he go down? Yeah, he did go down once. I'm not too sure when he went down, but he did go down once. Abaddon is going to be going for a max of, oh my gosh, never mind, Rubick gets caught with the arrow. He's in a lot of trouble. There's a star call coming out from Mirana, and Tinker will be able to finish off the kill on top of Rubick. March Machines is helping out all along the way. And really, I really think that the Dire are going to, of course, be extremely hard pressed to actually fall back or come back from this. Their only hope It's for the Nature Prophet to just split push the crap out of the map. And we got an arrow coming out from Mirana. Beautiful arrow. Oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Just an arrow from downtown. Mirana will be able to get them vision. Leshrac stun to follow. Sand King can stun if he needs to. The Sunstrike coming down from Invoker is not going to be able to do enough. But this is an Exort Invoker, a Quas Exort Invoker. More so Exort than Quas right now. That pretty much means he is flimsy as flimsy can get. He doesn't have any boosters yet. And as I've heard a friend tell me once before, that if Invoker runs any lane other than mid, he definitely needs to go for phase or boots first, and this Invoker doesn't even have boots yet, so yeah, he's having quite a bit of trouble. Of course, hindsight's 20/20, and I can say that now very confidently because it's actually happened right before your eyes. But I could have called that if I was paying a little bit more attention. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and pay a little bit more attention to what everybody has in the inventory. We see a slow ring up on Tinker, no booster travel just yet, but how close is he to it? He is not all that close to it. This is on the courier already. Hand Midas is up on Nature's Prophet, as you guys see on your right side, just chilling out over there, showing you guys what's going on. Windrunner, her items aren't all that bad for what she was facing up against. She did die once already, and she did dodge a kill already, and she did dodge a kill. Mirana tried to go for arrow on that Nature's Prophet because they do have an observer inside the jungle. That might have been a solo kill. That probably was going to be a solo kill because Prophet only has a hand of Midas. A region room picked up by Mirana. Mirana actually wants to go for this kill once again. Will she be able to land the arrows is the big question. It's going to be a blind arrow. Meanwhile, Tinker took quite a bit of damage around wherever he was. I think he's killing Ancients. Never mind, he's fine. Mirana's going to wait around the corner. She will find herself a Prophet. Prophet's in a lot of trouble. This is not the spot that he wants to be. He might have to throw a Sprout. Mirana's going to go ahead and throw a Star Call on Prophet. I think he was looking somewhere else. I'm not too sure what's going on, but he just pretty much donated his life completely. I think he just gave up on life. His hand of Midas wasn't on cooldown. It will be on cooldown for another 45 seconds, so it won't be all that bad of a, or as big of a loss as it could have potentially been if his hand of Midas would have came off cooldown, or been coming off cooldown in the meantime. Meanwhile, we got Sand King rotating around the backside with the smoke ink, and I am lagging. Hopefully I don't lag out, but I think I might, which should make you pretty sad. Rubick will probably be going down here. So sad that we won't actually be able to see the engagement. And my internet is doing weird things. There we go. Rubick does go down. Called it. Totally called it. Abaddon ulti was popped, and he was able to survive, just getting a whole bunch of HP back. And now he's on the wrong side of the river. He's going to be getting stunned by Sand King. Sand King able to man up and say, "No, bro, you no go nowhere." And there's Abaddon's life gone. And to be honest, that's one of the biggest issues with Abaddon for me specifically. Is like basically Abaddon's ulti makes you feel all powerful and all overwhelming to anything and everything that comes around. Hold on, whoa, Sand King might be going down. I'm sorry, Prophet tried to TP in here to kill the Sand King, but he actually almost loses his life. Leshrac was here to help out Sand King. It looks like he got a burst strike off as well, and also a wine charge. And that was the end of all that aggression. I think Prophet might wants to try to pop his ulti, and more lag, more issues. Oh dear Jesus, this is horrible. I picked the perfect time to actually do this cast, didn't I, guys? Let me make sure it's nothing on my part. Actually slowing it down, and probably isn't. Meanwhile, Invoker gets himself a cold snap on top of somebody, or on top of Mirana, who's chasing for the arrow. Mirana throws the arrow. Oh my gosh, Invoker almost walked right into it, but he did think twice about it. He did think twice about walking towards it. Mirana did already use a leap though, so she wouldn't necessarily been able to follow up on that. And there's also Rubick here. Rubick will be able to throw a telekinesis. No mana for leap from Mirana. Mirana should be going down here. There's Sunstrike coming out from Invoker in the best possible spot, but Mirana did decide to run out of the corner. Doesn't matter. Rubick is able to get the last auto attack off, and it did not miss despite it going uphill. Mirana buying herself a magic wand. Pretty cool. She knows that Invoker wants to throw his spells on top of her, and it'll also give her some survivability. The supports from the Radiant are rotating. Leshrac plus Sand King have been pretty much doing Invoker in. That's the only word for it. That's the only phrase for it. That's the only slang I can think of for it. But there are a lot of people mid here. These guys do need to be very careful. Sand King ulti is not up just yet. Leshrac hit it. Oh, no, nobody cares about his ulti's up. Leshrac's going to be trying to go for something. He's getting cold snap. He's trying to get the stun off, but he can't get it off. The cold snap is just being as annoying as possible. Rubick stole something. I think Rubick stole a stun from Leshrac. Meanwhile, Mirana's on the backside trying to get the kill on top of Windrunner, and she will be able to get the kill. Mirana will be able to get the kill. Leshrac will not be going down. Not just yet. Sunstrike was just a little bit off. Just a little bit off. A tad to the right. Mirana arrow to fly. It will be hitting nothing. The creeps are on the Radiant side, so it didn't matter. The creeps aren't really all that big an issue. Meanwhile, Sand King gets a stun off on top of Rubick. Rubick in a little bit of trouble. Rubick pops his diabolical edict, does quite a bit of damage to the Sand King, which is quite ironic, of course. Meanwhile, Leshrac, I heard Leshrac stun. Not sure what he's done. Okay, Leshrac stunned to try to get away, and he was able to get away successfully. And this is a classic Leshrac that we see here, guys. Well, okay, let me go and take that back. This is the typical Leshrac that you see, not necessarily classic, because, I mean, classic implies that there's been some other weird things going on. But this Leshrac is basically going to be maxing his Diabolical Edict and maxing his Split Earth as well, as opposed to maxing his Split Earth and his Lightning Storm thing. But Lightning Storm would actually be pretty nice versus the Prophet. Basically, his Lightning Storm does do quite a bit of damage to all of those treants. And Abaddon looked like he really wanted to go on top of Mirana, but Mirana was able to leap away. Abaddon, how many points do you have in your Curse of Avantis? He only has 1 point inside that. Sand King getting a beautiful stun, but Shackle coming out from Windrunner just as beautiful as that stun. Windrunner dodging all that damage. She got a whole bunch of HP from that magic wand. I think she had 15 charges total. Meanwhile, Rubick still something. Did he get Burrow Shot? Yes, he did. That was going to be a huge spell for him to have. Power Shot coming up from Windrunner. These guys can't go for the fight. Rubick gets a stun on top of Abaddon. Or sorry, on top of Phantom Assassin before she's able to do anything. Sand King gets a midget blink. Oh man, or sorry, gets a midget Burrow Strike. Not able to actually do anything. Leshrac just bands up, says, hey bro, I'm gonna show up and try to get the kill on top of these guys. And oh my gosh, Abaddon pops his ulti. He gets a kill. A lot of heal coming towards him because of that ulti. And just like that, guys, things are turning around. I know I said before, once the ball gets rolling, it usually doesn't come back, but these guys are definitely keeping the fight, bringing the fight to the Radiant. They're really making the Radiant earn their victory. And Mirana looks like she's going to be going for a straight-up Mantis style. Or Scotty. Hopefully it's a straight-up Mantis style. As opposed to Scotty. We got TPs coming in everywhere. Abaddon's going to be around the corner. Cold Snap coming in from Invoker. Just in time. Mirana leaps and it's not going to be far enough. And she's pretty much going to be going down. Gets the arrow off the top of Prophet, but that's really about it. Excuse me. If only she had her ulti. If only she had her ulti. What a strange turn of events that we are at right now, or what a strange avenue of events we are at right now. Just like pretty much after that last team fight, the Dire have officially fought their way back into the game. They haven't by any means won the game just yet, but they are fighting their ways back into it. Dire structures are fortified. Windrunner and Rubick can deny this. Nope, the siege creep will be able to finish it off. Cardi, the catapult is OP, guys. That's all I gotta say. Meanwhile, up top, engaging happen around the corner. Leshrac does go down to the Abaddon. Abaddon feeling pretty happy about that. Prophet TP's in, gets a beautiful sprout on top of Sand King, but Sand King Burrow Strikes out. We got support, TP support coming in from everywhere. Tinker's here. He throws a laser on top of Prophet, just doing a little bit of damage. Prophet actually almost walks into that arrow, but he's able to get away. Meanwhile, Mirana throws down a Star Call, taking a lot of damage coming out from these Forward Spirits, and that is a Forward Spirit level 4 Forward Spirit. Level 4 on both his Claws and his Exort. Meanwhile, Abaddon pops his ulti. He's going to go ahead and walk through the March Machines like a man. Mirana arrow just barely misses. Holy crap. When does that ever happen? These guys are going toe-to-toe. Mirana might be able to finish off that Abaddon if she decides to go for the damage. She does leap forward, gets another auto attack off. Tinker able to finish off with the arrow. Meanwhile, Sand King coming around the corner, gets a stun on top of... No, Rubick tried to stun away. But Leshrac was able to get the split up on top of him. And things, man, these guys are making it very scary, keeping it very scrappy. As far as Phantom Assassin goes, Phantom Assassin building a straight up BKB. She has a Helmet of Dominator, which is a really nice item as far as lifesteal goes, because she can crit for like a crazy amount of damage. Meanwhile, speak of the double, she actually might be going down around the corner. Prophet and Windrunner are hot on her tail. Prophet can throw a Sprout. Windrunner can follow up with the Shackle Shot, and that's pretty much a dead Phantom Assassin. There we go. Phantom Assassin will be getting shackled to a tree. She goes down. At least she tried. Meanwhile, in the jungle, we see Invoker. He's in the worst possible spot. Sand King pops his ult, challenges his ult just to make sure they get the kill. Leshrac plus Sand King able to take down the Invoker. So, like I said, these guys are really trading the kills. Of course, the Dire are still behind. If we look at the goal graph, I'm pretty sure it shows the same exact thing. Yes, it does. The goal graph did start to spike back towards the Dire for a little bit, for a brief moment, but then it started. Now it's going way back up. Mainly because the Radiant are getting more than the Dire are. The Phantom Assassin going down. Actually, yeah, the Phantom Assassin going down, not really that big of an issue, but the Invoker going down, and also the team fights that have happened around the corner have pretty much been making everything a little bit more difficult. Meanwhile, Abaddon, he decides to pop his ulti to try to run away because he doesn't want to be in this plane anymore. Mirana arrow already did fly, it did completely miss, but it is off cooldown, or it will be off cooldown another 4 seconds. And she also has a 4-step. Wow, interesting item choices. Holy crap. Meanwhile, Prophet's around the corner. Prophet's going to be able to throw out his Sprout. Mirana leaps out. Perfect timing on top of that. She still does get hit with a Prophet ulti, but she doesn't really care. Meanwhile, Abaddon takes a lot of damage coming up from those rockets from Tinker. Those are max rocket launching machines basically for Tinker. He's trying to make sure he mitigates as much damage as possible from Abaddon. Abaddon trying to get the kill on top of this Tinker, but Tinker just being so evasive. Like I said before, boosted travel plus blink dagger plus soul ring is probably the build he's going for, and that is the build that he went for. So he's going to be able to juke, bob, and weave as much as he wants, or as much as he wants. Meanwhile, Phantom Assassin looks like she wants to go for a kill on top of this Abaddon, but she's actually getting cold snapped up by this Invoker. Windrunner does go down around the corner to the Mirana of all people. Mirana ulti is popped. These guys are going to be in full retreat, as they should, and Invoker throws on the ice wall just to make sure that these guys are slowed down. Tinker says, I don't care, I'm going to go ahead and blink forward, throw out the laser. Abaddon pops his ulti just to dodge a rocket. Arrow coming up from Mirana. These guys do dodge it completely. Meanwhile, cold snap from Invoker, not going to be able to do much. Mirana is extremely mobile with that force stab. That's actually crazy, quite crazy type stuff. Meanwhile, Rubick telekinesis Sand King into him. Sand King gets a beautiful stun off the top of 2, but there was nobody really there to follow up, so he promptly dies right afterwards. Especially considering the fact that he was within vision of tower, or within tower range. So Sandstorm or not, he went down. Tinker going for a Dagon. Or maybe he just has a random null talisman. I'm not too sure, but I honestly don't like Dagon. I just flat out don't like Dagon. I want to say it's not the most expensive item in the game now that they changed the price a little bit. I actually have to go look at that up. Dagon level 5, of course. But last time I checked, which was before they changed the price of Dagon, of course, Dagon was the most expensive item, and the second most expensive item was, of course, a rapier. Anyway, Windrunner. Oh, not Windrunner. Abaddon gonna go ahead and eat an arrow coming out from Mirana, and there's nothing gonna be able to follow up. Leshrac throws out a stun, kills a few trees, and actually he might be in a really bad spot. Abaddon trying to get close enough to get something on top of him, but he's not gonna be able to get much. Throws out a Mystic Coil just to do a little bit of damage. And there's an arrow coming from Mirana. Mirana's arrow will hit a creep, so she got a little bit of gold from that, but that's really about it. Tinker just spamming out the rockets. Like I said, those are level 4 rockets. That's a lot of damage coming out on top of him. His soul ring plus his bottle are going to be helping him supplement his regen. He TP's up top. Oh no, Mirana TP's up top. And she's going to go ahead and see if she can get a kill on top of this lone prophet who's built a Shadow Blade of all things. He gets stunned up by Leshrac. Mirana able to finish off with the arrow from the face. And now we got pretty much a 4-man push coming out from the Dire. These guys want to take down as many towers as they want. And I'll speak of this in a few seconds. So we got a shackle coming out from Windrunner. It's not going to be able to shackle Tinker to anything, so he's going to be fine. Meanwhile, we got a wraparound coming out from the Radiant. These guys do know about it. The Dire do know about it. Mainly because they have an observer right over here. So Rubick stole Sandstorm, but of all things, he doesn't want that. He wants Burrow Strike instead. Here comes everything coming out from Invoker. Not enough damage. Wow, really? You're kidding me? There we go. Shackle coming out from Windrunner. Not able to lights there. Windrunner able to finish off. Cut him off at the very end. Shot to the face, and she blows him a kiss, as you guys can hear her say herself. Meanwhile, Abaddon's build, I'm not too sure what he's exactly going for. I think he's going for Perseverance. I don't know. I really don't know what he's going for. He just bought an Ogre Club, so Sanj, Heaven's Halberd, I'm not too sure. It's a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, he's doing right now. I think he's doing a little bit too much. Rubick stole the arrow from Mirana. It did hit Mirana at point blank range, so it's not going to be able to stop her all that much. Mirana force steps forward and leaps away. And is going to be able to TP out. That mobility OP, that's all I got to say. And I think she popped her ulti as well. No, she did not pop her ulti. But Rubick does have the arrow from Mirana. Pretty much Rubick with another stun is pretty much going to make him that much more dangerous. Burrow Strike is probably the biggest stun that he wants because it gets him right in the middle of a fight. Or actually, yeah. Getting in the middle of a fight is not exactly what Rubick wants to do, but it puts him right in the middle of a fight, which positions him well for follow-up telekinesis on top of somebody who's important. Meanwhile, we see Invoker getting caught up around the corner once again, trying to do what he can. Versus this Sand King. There's an arrow from Mirana going one way, arrow from Rubick going the other way, and actually Sand King did go down to the Invoker, who's able to just definitely blast him to death. Prophet is back here. Prophet Shadow Blade not finished just yet. Just needs 60 more gold, one more last hit. Whichever one happens first. Meanwhile, we got Abaddon just chilling out in the trees. He's going to be TPing out, and that was actually lag on my part. Phantom Assassin is going to be going for, like I said, BKB first. No Battle Fury just yet. Actually, Battle Fury is quite an important item. Or Phantom Assassin, not one that's like you have to go for. You absolutely have to go for, but it's still a really nice item to have. Because whenever she crits, that's pretty much a giant cleave or a giant cluster crap of damage coming out in the cleave. 35% of 5,000 damage, still a lot. Meanwhile, arrow coming up from Mirana, or from Rubick, hitting on top of Mirana, pretty much killing her, instant giving her perma stun, chain stun all day long. And the middle tower does go down. Abaddon leading the charge. He's going to go ahead and throw out the Anthropothic shield, trying to dodge a few marching machines, or sorry, trying to take the marching machines as best as he possibly can. Invoker trying to be like a boss and just dodge it straight out. Meanwhile, around the corner, we got Shackle thrown on top of who's this? We got Shackle thrown on top of Leshrac, and this pretty much the whole entire raiding side is starting to fall apart. The Dire is just straight up 5-manning and killing these guys. Rubick does go down, or not Rubick, the Tinker does go down too. The Invoker. Meanwhile, we got Abaddon popping his ulti as well to make sure he stays alive nice and healthy. He's trying to go for the kill on top of Sand King, but these guys cannot or will not be able to find it. Death of Appearance is popped by the Sand King, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it was. And Phantom Assassin is going to just go to town on top of Abaddon. Abaddon really wishes that he has ulti right now, because Phantom Assassin will be healing up so much. Rubick not going to be able to do much. Abaddon doing a really nice juke around the corner, just trying to get away from Phantom Assassin. Actually almost able to get the kill. Gets another after pocket shield thrown on top of him so he can get rid of the purge, and he might be able to finish off the Phantom Assassin. No, the ulti comes out from Mirana. And that so ends all of the aggression coming around the corner. Actually, no, Mirana comes forward. Mirana wants to go for the kill. Mirana ulti will be running out, just barely, but there's another after-popping shield coming out from Abaddon. Abaddon will have his ulti in another 6 seconds. Arrow coming out from Rubick. Abaddon able to just barely dodge that arrow, and he actually might turn around to fight this. He is 1 more second is all he really needs, and he's actually going to be forced to pop it. Tink is actually healing up quite a bit. I'm not too sure if he just realized that. Arrow coming out from Mirana. Nope, no arrow coming out from Mirana. A big cluster crap of fights about to happen. I'm not too sure what's going to be going on. Sorry, Zap coming out from Rubick. Zap coming out from Tinker. Jesus, sorry. Abaddon does finally go down. No, Mirana goes down. Whoa, 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 whoa now. Okay, Windrunner came in with a shock shot. That's what it was. Rubick stole some of the... I think Rubick stole a stun coming out from the Leshrac. Invoker throwing all his damage, as much damage as possibly can. Prophet able to survive just barely because of that Shadow Blade, and also because everybody killed the Leshrac first. And wow. Wow is all I have to say about this. Tinker still pushes as many towers as possibly can, but you got Tinker pushing versus a Prophet push, and this is pretty much going to counter the push of the counter push. And that's actually a really cute thing. I really noticed that. Honestly, I think Tinker's going to be the better pusher than Prophet, but Prophet's going to be more useful in these team fights. Tinker, he's really good for helping these guys turtle because of his marching machines. You really don't want to walk into that marching machines, but with the Abaddon on the side of the Dire, they're gonna have a pretty easy time. They're gonna have a really easy time walking into this marching machines, just pretty much straight up man fighting Tinker under his own marching machines. We got TP coming up for Nature's Prophet. Phantom Assassin in a little bit of trouble. Cold Snap is all she needs. No, she decides to turn around, man up, pops her BKB, and goes for the fight. But it's still a BKB charge well wasted. It is all definitely worth it. Phantom Assassin did want to go for a kill on top of one of these guys, but she did avert the entire death. Meanwhile, around the corner we got Mirana in the wrong part of the neighborhood. She leapt in, but she was able to force that herself away. That's 18-second cooldown. Wow, that's ridiculous. So the FMS has the same cooldown as that Force Staff. Actually, shorter cooldown than the Force Staff. Mirana's Leap, that is. And does it go further? It goes further. Meanwhile, we got a little bit of stuff going on down bottom. Just you know, people pushing. Prophet pushing one way. Tinker's gonna start pushing it back the other way with that marching machine rocket. Just spamming out a little bit, trying to make these guys' life as difficult as possible when it comes to pushing a tower. And like I said, that is the max march machines. Meanwhile, Prophet ulti is going to be bouncing around, killing a few creeps all around the map, pretty much doing the same thing Tinker's doing. And this is actually like an extremely balanced game. Just not necessarily just on a low. We see engagement happen on top of Invoker. Invoker goes down pretty darn easy, 2 crits, and he's done for. This Phantom Assassin does have level 2 for ulti. She's level 15, so she's about to have level 3 soon. She will be finding herself a Windrunner in the jungle. Windrunner probably the best person to face up against the Phantom Assassin until Phantom Assassin throws that dagger at her. I think dagger does purge her. Tinker trying to hide around the corner. He will be able to blink away, throw out another march machine, and he's going to be TPing. Wow. No, he's staying still. Mirana ulti is going to be going. Mirana is back into the fight. And these guys will be able to sneak around the corner. Arrow coming out from Mirana, going to be hitting on top of Prophet right in the face, and boom goes the dynamite. He goes down, pretty easy to Tinker. Meanwhile, Mirana leaps forward. She wants to go for the fight. These guys are turning around going for the man fight. Sand King ulti to fly. It will not be able to do enough. Abaddon is going to go ahead and stay around and tank on up. Phantom has almost, if she would have got a crit, Abaddon would have pretty much healed up completely. Meanwhile, Tinker's blinking forward, trying to kill all the supports that he possibly can. These guys will be able to finish off all the other supports. Rubick, the last one left. He does have an Earner Shadows. He also has an arrow. Oh, sorry, he also has a Magic Wand Charge. He's still alive. Holy crap, how's he still alive? Tinker will be going out. Oh my gosh. Rubick just surviving. Just playing a survivor-esque Rubick. Well played. Sanji Yasha coming up on Abaddon. That's what he's going for. pretty nice item choice. Sanj will help him chase. Yasha gives him some really nice stats. And we got Mirana coming around the corner, probably the wrong corner. There's an ice wall thrown out by Invoker just to make sure that nobody can actually follow up. Arrow from Mirana will fly. And we got a blink on one side, blinking in Invoker of all things. Pretty weird stuff. He might want to go ahead and go Ghost Walk. He will be popping his Ghost Walk. No vision here for these guys, so they will not be able to do anything. Meanwhile, Abaddon picks up a Leshrac who decided to come around to literally into the wrong neck of the woods, and he went down. Invoker just eats all the damage coming out from that March Machines. He's gonna go ahead and throw a cold snap on top of Tinker just to make sure Tinker can't get away. And these guys are gonna go for the kill on top of Tinker. Tinker is just gonna blink as far as he possibly can, and nobody can actually get around the corner. There we go. They'll finally be able to get around the corner, but Tinker will not be able to make it out alive. Prophet almost saved the life of Tinker, but that's only a level 2 Sprout. It's one important thing to point out, because that means it lasts 3.75 seconds. And that means it doesn't last as long as it could have potentially lasted, which is 5.25 seconds. Tinker probably still would have died because Leshrac's stun did come out, but still. Actually, hold on, Leshrac's stun came out from Rubick. Really? Rubick had Leshrac's stun, whoa.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And so goes the bottom tower. So,
has fallen.
essentially, on both sides, you have split push. On both sides, you have split push in the form of Prophet, and you have split push in the form of Tinker. Well, not necessarily split push, just push in general. Global push, let's put it that way. As far as everybody else goes, you have solid supports in Leshrac and Sand King, but I think, of course, the Rubick and the Windrunner are a little bit more flexible. Sand King, Leshrac, if he misses a stun, he's pretty much useless in team fight next. Outside, oh, hold on, well, we got a big fight happening. TA is going to be going down pretty darn easy. Not what you want to happen to your carry, not that fast at least. Tinker will be going down. Just one more attack is all he needs. He decided to turn around and try to man fight. I think he would have been able to make it alive. I don't think there's any detection on these guys. And that's pretty much this bottom tower going to be going down as well. Abaddon just pretty much turned his fight, or not Abaddon. The Dire just pretty much turned his fight around, but with the Abaddon helping out tremendously as well. Able to just be deceptively tanky in all his fights. Pretty much everybody says, oh man, Abaddon's about to die, let's keep fighting. And then Abaddon pops his ulti, he gets a lot of heal. Meanwhile, we got Shackle from Windrunner on top of that Sand King. Sand King going to be a 4-step forward to safety. We got Prophet throwing out his trees, trying to go for the kill on top of this tower. The tower will not be going down just yet. Ulti coming out from Sand King, doing quite a bit of damage. Rubick getting an after pop the shield coming out from Abaddon. He's going to be getting stunned. Beautiful, oh my gosh, double crits coming out from Phantom Assassin. She feels like the luckiest girl in the world. She's going to be trying to go for the kill on top of Abaddon. Abaddon is going to be probably the sole survivor. Prophet does get stunned up but he's invisible. We got a, wow, really? That was an Invoker getting evaporated. No, was that Invoker? That was Windrunner getting evaporated. And Abaddon, will he be able to make it alive is a big question. He has a Leshrac, he also has a Phantom Assassin hot on his tail, and he's actually going to try to go for the juke. He goes around the corner, he's going to be able to make it out. This one, will he be able to make it out? He's forced to pop his ulti. He wants to go ahead and go for the TP away, but he will not be able to get the TP away. Actually, he doesn't have TP scroll. He's trying to do what he can to keep these guys from, get the CC off of him, but actually his ulti's on cooldown, so he's definitely dead. I honestly think he could have made out of that weird skirmish that he was at over in this general area if he without his ulti, and then he could have potentially saved it for just then when he was taking all the damage. And this the Radiant will be rotating straight up towards Roche to try to go for that. It's not a big surprise. They want a free kill, or they want an Aegis. Who doesn't want an Aegis? Sean going to be going down. Invoker throws a Sunstrike just to scout it out. He sees that these guys are actually doing Roche right now. Will he blink in and try to go for the Aegis still is a big question. He's going to go ahead and throw a Deafening Blast, doing quite a bit of damage to Phantom Assassin. She actually might be going down. These guys do decide to blink in and go for the kill. We got a team fight happening, but I'm lagging so bad. Roshan does go down. Phantom Assassin does pick up the Aegis, and now Invoker's in the worst possible spot. Pops his Ghost Walk. Dust of Appearance pops, and he won't be able to make this one alive. Nah, I'm not too sure. I'm pretty sure he won't be able to. He turns around, tries to go for a man fight. Mirana actually going to be going down. Phantom Assassin actually going down as well. And the Aegis is popped. Windrunner, will she be able to get a shackle? Yes, she does get a shackle. The shackle of her life. Stun coming up from Sand King. Sand King going to go ahead and channel his Sandstorm. And there's a fight turn around on the backside. Windrunner not the best person to be aiming for when she has a Windrunner pops. And meanwhile, Prophet comes in for the middle of the fight. He's trying to go for the kill on top of Phantom Assassin. Phantom Assassin able to blink, strike her way on towards Tinker. And Rubick, he actually might be going out to the Tinker, but he will be able to make it alive as well. Nope, never mind. Leshrac and Rubick trade lives. They trade blows, and they both go down. Meanwhile, we got Abaddon coming in like a man and says, "Hey, bro, let's go ahead and go for this fight." Pops his ulti way too early. He was really full HP, and there's a lot of people left over here for the Radiant. There's a lot of people left over here for a Radiant. He definitely could say that for a rainy day. Here's Phantom Assassin coming in straight for the fight. Stun coming off of Sand King. Abaddon ulti, like I said, is on cooldown right now, so he's gonna be in a lot of trouble. He will be going down. He's getting bashed left and right from that Phantom Assassin basher. She's building towards the A-Blade. and that turned the fight, and that pretty much ended. Honestly, I think Abaddon used his ulti a little bit too early, ended it. Invoker able to get a pickoff kill on top of Sand King. Beautiful Sunstrike coming off from him. Beautiful awareness, knowing where Sand King was probably going to be going. And Illusion Room picked up by Mirana. Let me make sure I'm still recording. Probably the worst time to make sure you're still recording is like in the middle of the recording, but hey, I'm doing it in the middle of the recording just to make sure. So we are 31 minutes into this game. I definitely, like I said, I was really hoping for a short game, but these guys are definitely keeping it interesting. At least they keep it exciting, and I would be definitely fine seeing this game go to a 60-minute game. Because I'm really interested to see what a carry Abaddon does decide to do, because he is going for a semi-carry Abaddon. As far as a primary carry, is probably going to turn into Prophet towards the end of the game, but Abaddon, he's still tanky as crap. Invoker built a Blink Dagger, so he's going for more of a, well, he's trying to go for carry as well, which honestly in this instance, I think these guys need a Quas Flex Invoker. And what that instead of a Quas X1 Invoker. A Quas X1 Invoker is basically a lot of right-click damage. A Quas Wax Invoker is a lot of CC, and actually he might be going down around the corner. Mirana's going to go ahead and throw out a Star Call, but Star Call's not going to be able to hit. Invoker, he might actually be able to turn the fight. Prophet's going to be TPing in, and these guys will be going for the kill on top of Mirana. Mirana ulti will be off cooldown another 4 seconds. There's a Sheep Stick used by Prophet. I didn't even know he had that, and Mirana does go down. Rubick, what did you steal? He stole Star Call. Probably not the most ideal thing. He really wanted Arrow, but Star Call does do quite a bit of damage, especially when those big team fights do break out. Yep, 300 damage in the AoE. Pretty much everybody feels 270 damage whenever they get hit by it, unless they have any form of pipe or anything. Speaking of which, now I'm gonna take a look at the items because I haven't looked at that in quite a while. They have progressed very nicely as far as I'm concerned. Blink Dagger up on Tinker, Dagon level 3 if I'm not mistaken, or is it? Yeah, Dagon level 3. I can almost tell by the pictures perfectly every single time, but it still takes a little bit of practice. Meanwhile, Sand King's gonna come in straight into the man fight. He does get hit with a Abaddon's right click. So these guys did get some little moves here. Invoker bleeding forward, and I can't get this thing to go away, go away, go away, go away. Invoker does go down, not Invoker. Sand King does go down. Mirana was already dead. Abaddon, did he pop his ulti for that? Yeah, he popped his ulti for that. But his ulti right now is only 40-second cooldown, which is huge, because that means it'll be more than ready for every team fight. He could actually be the aggressor. As I've said before in a lot of my other casts, pretty much you expect to see a team fight happen about every 60 seconds, especially towards the late game. And the main reason for that is because it takes about 60 seconds for a person to respond. That's really the only reason I can think of myself. Or maybe it takes 60 seconds for people to say, hey, let's go ahead and fight again. But yeah, so 60 seconds for a team fight to happen, so Abaddon's ulti will be up. Speaking of double, Mirana is going to be using her ulti to actually run away. Rubick did steal the ulti, so that's actually a really nice spell for him to have, and he actually used it on his allies. I'm not too sure why he used it just then, but he definitely could say that later. But Mirana ulti is pretty much a free smoke gank every 100 seconds. So that can be a very useful thing, especially at this point in the game where people people like Tinker are going to be farming down bottom all by themselves. If Tinker gets caught out by somebody with, if he gets caught out by a Prophet, because Prophet has a Sheep Stick, then Prophet's definitely going to finish him off. Meanwhile, we got a team fight happening around the corner. BKB popped by Phantom Assassin already. She got a kill, or Leshrac gets a kill on top of Rubick. The Windrunner going to be running away. Meanwhile, around the corner, who's left over is a big question. Invoker's left over around the corner. He's going to be TPing out. Sand King searching for him, playing Sentry. He's not going to be able to find him. Phantom Assassin playing Sentry as well, trying to find anybody else left over. Decides nobody's left, nobody's here. I'm going to go kill the Ancients, and she starts on doing that. Mirana is gonna, or not Mirana, Phantom Assassin is gonna be going straight up for that A-Blade. You see her gold building straight up, and I think she has it in about 500 more gold. And A-Blade on Phantom Assassin, that gives her so much damage. A-Blade by itself just gives you 100 damage, and I think it gives you the chance to bash as well. It gives you a lot of utility, gives you a lot of damage, just crazy stuff it gives you. They got 100 damage plus 10 strength, so a little bit more survivability. Essentially, 10 strength translates into 160 HP, and we got Leshrac actually picking up a Sentry Ward from the Radiant side. Probably not what these guys wanted, but that's what happened. Meanwhile, we got Leshrac getting exploded. Team fight will be happening around the corner. BKB popped by Phantom Assassin. Beautiful ulti coming out from Sand King, just doing as much damage as possible. Abaddon pops his ulti, it's not healing as much as he probably wanted to. Meanwhile, Tinker comes in, he gets shackled to a tree almost instantly. Invoker buys back already. Sand King trying to go for the stun on top of Abaddon. Abaddon taking a lot of damage, so he will be going down. He actually kills himself, so he just committed suicide. So pretty cute stuff going around the corner. Nobody actually getting credit for that kill. Meanwhile, Mirana gets thrown up inside a tornado. She's trying to go for the kill on top of Rubick. Rubick will be able to stay alive. No, the rocket's coming to him. No, the rocket does not come to him. Dagon used by Tinker on top of Prophet. I don't know who's on whose side anymore, guys, because so much is going on around the corner. But Rubick will be going down to a Spur Strike from Sand King. I can say that much. Invoker in a lot of trouble. His Ghost Walk, I think, is still on cooldown. He's going to be going toe-to-toe with Tinker. Tinker can just pretty much destroy him, just nuke him down. Not really much Invoking to do. Sand King coming from low ground to high ground and helping out Tinker with the kill, and Tinker is able to get the kill, and that's pretty much a team wipe on the side of the Dire, but the Radiant have lost so much it's not even funny. They actually might lose the Sand King as well. The range on these Force Spirits is actually quite ridiculous. One more auto attack is all he needs. Sand King's out of mana. He hasn't enough mana for a Sandstorm, but these guys will be able to catch up. Mechanism pop by Leshrac, able to save the life of Sand King, and the Force Spirits are still going to go chase. Sand King actually turns around, collects one for himself, and Leshrac picks up the other one. So now that I have time to actually talk about things, I can say that, or clarify what I was saying before. Like I said, pretty much you expect to see a team fight happen about every 60 seconds, especially now because we're getting closer and closer to the late game, which is relatively, generally speaking, about 45 minutes in, because that's when people have their big items and people stay dead for a lot longer. So a lot of crazy tower pushes, team fights can happen, and throws and stuff can happen. But you expect to see a team fight happen about every 60 seconds, especially towards the late game, because that's about how long it takes for somebody to respawn. Especially the big carries, it takes them about 99 seconds is max respawn time at level 25. So 99 seconds is, I mean, yeah, you could argue that you expect to see a team fight happen about every 99 seconds. As soon as the carry's alive, they want to go fight. But 60 seconds is a general number, like I said before, and it's actually a really good judgment call on it, because even if the carry's dead, the enemy team says, hey, our carry's still alive, let's go ahead and push. And a lot of times it's actually, hold on, a lot of times it's not necessarily that cut and dry, but but sometimes in general, jeez, I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. In general, teams are like, hey, you know, our carry's alive, let's go ahead and push, and then that's the time that the enemy carry is dead, so that's about 60 seconds, and then 6 seconds later, the enemy carry is alive, and they go and push because the other carry did go down. But anyway, we see Invoker getting caught with a Burrow Strike. He's going to be getting caught with everything, a lot of stuns, all the CC in the world getting thrown on top of him. He does go down, and Windrunner getting exploded by Leshrac, actually no, by Tinker, but Leshrac is able to pick up the last hit on top of that. You know, Rubick still something. Rubick stole the ulti from Mirana, so he's going to be able to make it alive. No, Dust of Appearance is popped, and these guys are playing it very smart. These guys are playing it very smart, and the Radiant are really regaining that chokehold that they had on the very beginning of the game. It's getting past that point to where, it's getting past that point where Abaddon's effectiveness is officially there. I think that's mainly because of the items that he decided to go for, not necessarily because of the hero himself. I think Abaddon, if he really wants to go for late game, he needs to go for more attack speed. His cursive, whatever. His slow, his passive is actually really nice, and actually it's supposed to proc on towers too, but I don't think it procs on towers. As of now, it's a bug. But apparently it's supposed to proc on towers, which is quite ridiculous. That means all the creeps that are attacking the tower attack that much faster, which is crazy. Meanwhile, we're going for a base race by the looks of it, but I definitely, actually no, not even I definitely think, I'm pretty sure the Dire are going to be losing this base race if that's what they're going for, because there's a Tinker on the enemy team, so he can actually be back to defend, and there's also a Leshrac on the enemy team, so he can actually be there to push and kill all these towers as fast as he possibly can. Sand King getting caught inside of a tornado, he pops the E-Blade, he will be taking a lot of damage coming up from Abaddon, but Abaddon not able to finish him off. Just 6 more seconds all he needs, 1 more second, nope, Sand King is a little bit too far away. Oracle Malevolence already used on top of Sand King. Sand King just trying to juke as far as he possibly can. Leshrac still moving back because I definitely blast, and there we go, he finally stops moving, he goes down. Meanwhile, BKB popped by Phantom Assassin, she wants to go for the fight, and she's going to go toe-to-toe, man fight up with that Abaddon. Abaddon will be winning this fight, but it looks like because of all the support coming around the corner, Phantom Assassin will be able to blink away to the Mirana, but will she be able to make it alive is a big question. Rubick blink strikes towards her, and actually he's able to get the kill on top of Phantom Assassin. Pretty funny stuff. TP coming out from Mirana, she's able to make it alive, and nobody else, excuse me, nobody else is going to be dying in the course of all the team fights. And jeez, I need water. Tinker, actually no, I take it back. Tinker might be able to get the kill on top of Abaddon. Abaddon ulti, I think I got procced, or I think it automatically casted itself. And we got the fight happening around the corner. Abaddon trying to get a little bit more heal, but his ulti did, like I said, get popped already. He probably wanted to save that for a rainy day, but no rainy day will happen for him. Tinker does go down. He popped the smoke, Dust of Appearance, just to make sure I saw everybody who was around the corner, but there's nobody really here to follow up. Sand King trying to do what he can to juke around the corner, but I don't know if he's going to be able to do much, especially since a Prophet here. Prophet will be able to, nope, never mind. Probably could have potentially gone for the kill. Mirana's actually manning up. She got shackled to her own illusion of all things. Mantis style backfiring. OP. Please nerf. Please nerf. And we got a stun coming up for Sand King on top of Abaddon. Abaddon was able to get the Anthropothic shield on top of himself before it all happened. And Sand King will be able to TP out because he TP back to base as opposed to anywhere else. Where else would you TP when you're trying to run away? And so ends everything else. So Orca Malevolence is up on Abaddon. Totally missed that. He also has a Vladimir's Offering, which gives us a really nice lifesteal. And I've actually seen Abaddon carry Abaddon go for a Mask of Madness, which is really nice if you consider it, because Mask of Madness makes you take an additional 30% incoming damage, which translates into an additional 30% heal whenever Abaddon pops his Mask of Madness plus his ulti. But the only drawback is that Mask of Madness lasts a lot longer than his ulti lasts, so that means just more vulnerability. Sand King just living life on the edge, just on the outskirts of that Dustin appearance, which is actually kind of cute. Basically what they did was Sand King popped the Sandstorm right in the middle of the tower, and then they force-stabbed Sand King to the side to make sure that Sand King would be safe. So pretty cute stuff coming out from Leshrac. Meanwhile, we got Rubick still in Sandstorm. Probably not what he won. No, he stole Portal Strike. Holy crap, that's exactly what he won. He will be jumping into this fight. These guys do want to be as aggressive as possible. PA pops with BKB, but that BKB is not going to be lasting as long as it lasted before. Doesn't matter. She's able to get the kill on top of Invoker before anything's happened. She's trying to get a stifling dagger on top of somebody. Windrunner might be donating her life for the cause, but no, it will not be enough. Ulti coming out from Mirana just to make sure these guys can follow in peace. And there's an ulti coming out from Sand King, able to finish off that Windrunner. And Abaddon just barely able to juke around the corner. He's going to be able to TP out alive. No! Sand King gets a Bro Strike on top of him. Abaddon will be forced to main fight. He decides to pop his ulti way too early. And, oh man, he won't be able to make out this one alive. Pops his Anthropothic shield. Invoker comes around the corner. Did he die? Yeah, he did die, if I'm not mistaken. But he did buy back. And Radiant's barracks are under attack. Mid barracks. The creeps are pushing it. But it's not enough. And one of the biggest issues that I've seen with this current Abaddon play is like I said before, it's really hard to tell when to pop your ulti, but Abaddon has definitely been popping his ulti way too early. I think his ulti still comes on even if he's stunned or silenced, but I'm not too sure. I have to go test it on myself. But if it is, then there's no reason that Abaddon should use his ulti while he's taking a lot of damage, especially if it's a whole entire team just trying to gang up on him, because he can survive that. But his TP did get cancelled by the Bro Strike, which really sucks. BKB popped on one side, BKB popped on the other side. Phantom Assassin able to win that fight because she has an A-Blade. GG bro, I have an A-Blade. That's pretty much what she just said. And they're going to go ahead and rotate for the bottom racks. Very smartly so. Abaddon does buy back. He wants to defend his towers. He's going to be ready to fight. He's trying to go for something. If only Abaddon had CK's reality rift, that would be OP. But he's going to go ahead and try to go for what he can on top of Mirana. And Mirana is going to be able to force that herself out. I think he probably should use that Phantom Assassin instead. But he doesn't have MKB of any sort just yet, so he's not going to be able to actually evade, actually not miss his auto attacks. And Abaddon's really trying to go in for the kills on top of these guys, and Phantom Assassin around the corner, able to just get a few auto attacks off, but she will be losing her life, just dodging everything. Wow, just like 3 dodges or 3 evasions in a row, not enough. Sand King channeling his ulti once again. Did he just use that? I swear he just used that like 5 seconds ago. After Prophet shield thrown from Abaddon on top of Sand King, or on top of Prophet, make sure Prophet stays nice and healthy. Windrunner able to finish off, no, Abaddon able to finish off the Leshrac around the corner. And there's ulti coming up from Mirana. Sand King wants to go for the kill on top of this Prophet, and Prophet taking a lot of damage. Will he be going down? No, he will not be going down, but Sand King will be losing his life to the Rubick of all people. Abaddon threw out his heal on top of Prophet, make sure Prophet stays alive, nice and healthy, just in case any shenanigans were going on. Sand King buys back, and these guys have to defend on both sides. And this game is a nail biter. I'm not too sure who's going to win. It can go either way. It's really shocking to see this level, of course, it's not necessarily shocking to see this level of play, but it's really refreshing to see teams actually be matched up evenly in a random pub. Because like I said before, typically in a random pub, you see, once the ball gets rolling, that's pretty much it. But the ball got rolling for the Radiant side, and then the Dower's like, no bro, we're going to block that shot. Get that mess out of my house. They blocked the crap out of it, slapped it all the way back into Sunday, and then next thing you know, they're back into this fight, but then they've been throwing back and forth, and oh man, it's... This game, that's all I have to say, this game. Looking at the goal graph has not, or is tap dancing all around. It's trying to tap dance across that line, but it's not crossed that line just yet. The Radiant have been keeping a hold on that. That's one thing they've been keeping. But I honestly think that's only because of the fact that Phantom Assassin has been able to pick off the Invoker so many times, and also because Tinker has been able to farm around the map. If we take a look at the last hits, we see Tinker has 255 last hits versus Prophet's 258. So Prophet is still trying to keep his quota up, if I'm not mistaken. Phantom Assassin is the next highest on that. She's the 3rd, so that's pretty cool stuff going on there. Roshan does go down and totally missed that one, but Prophet is worth the most on the entire map. Followed by Phantom Assassin, Tinker, and then Abaddon. Abaddon being worth a lot is actually a pretty scary thought because he doesn't have a BKB. He really needs a BKB. I think that's one of his biggest mistakes is the fact that he doesn't have a BKB, and also because he keeps popping his ulti way too early. But then again, in Abaddon's defense, his ulti does get rid of debuff, so that maybe his thought is, hey, I can pop my ulti and try to run away. But I still think it's better for him to just let his ulti go ahead and proc on his own, or potentially just like wait till the very last second then pop his ulti. Because the earlier you pop it, the worse off it is. And also another thing to consider is that Abaddon's ulti it auto casts itself at when you're at 400 HP. Which is bad because if like say you're at 450 HP and you're not yet at the auto proc spot and you're just like, hey, I'm Abaddon, I'm a baller, I'm just gonna keep running into this damage. If somebody can do more than 400 damage to you or 450 damage to you, like 500 damage to you, you're pretty much gonna die. Like his ulti won't proc because his ulti procs it determines if it can proc afterwards. Anyway, or after all the damage is taken. Meanwhile, Invoker able to make it alive because he blinked away. Ate a lot of stuns around the corner. Sand King might be going down around the corner. He gets turned into a sheep. Probably the wrong person. He's a sheep stick on. BKB pop by Phantom Assassin. Phantom Assassin trying to go for the kill on top of that Prophet. Prophet is going to be going down around the corner. He buys back instantly. Meanwhile, we got a lot of stuff going on back and forth. Not too sure what's going on anymore. Mirana ulti is going to fly. Abaddon trying to man up, trying to go for the fight. He sees Mirana. He wants to go for the kill, but he needs to focus on Phantom Assassin because her BKB is down. She's going to be in a lot of trouble. Her A blade, is it down? Is a big question. Yes, it is down as well. And Invoker and these guys are going to go ahead and very smartly focus on top of Phantom Assassin. Phantom Assassin trying to run away. Will she be able to make it alive? She's getting forced that forward. She blink strikes to the down to the low ground. She gets hit with a tornado. Not able to get the stifling dagger off, and she actually blinks away or blinks up top towards Mirana. Mirana cancels her TP just to make sure she makes it alive. Sunstrike coming out from Invoker will be missing, and will Phantom Assassin make it alive? Is a big question. She will make it alive. Invoker does go down to the Tinker. Too much nuke damage coming down, and oh my gosh, the shotgun shot from Windrunner does fly. I think it's still flying. Where is it? There it is. Oh jeez. Boom. There's Tinker. So much drama, so much gore, and Mirana's on the wrong side. Black Hawk down. Tinker actually TP's into the worst spot possible. He actually gets silenced up by the Abaddon. Abaddon wants to go for the kill. That's a lot of damage getting done. Tinker will be going down for his troubles. So at least they got something. At least the Dire got something out of that. Invoker didn't die in vain, and Prophet didn't die or buy back in vain. But Abaddon really needs to get himself a BKB, man. It's no question about it. You have a Leshrac stun, you have a Phantom Assassin slow, you have a Tinker laser, you have Mirana stun, you have things, Sand King stun, Burrow Strike stun is probably arguably one of the best stuns in the game. Because it just happens like that, and it's a giant, not giant, but it's a nice AoE stun, and it can also help him get away. It's a free blink dagger, essentially. So, BKB, probably one of the biggest items that Abaddon's missing. His items right now are really mid-game oriented, and the main reason why I say that is because Orc of Malevolence is really nice mid-game where you can, pop it on top of somebody to make sure they can't cast a big spell to get away, and then just try to nuke them down, or do as much damage as possible so that when the Orchid Burn does happen, because it does do amplified damage by 30%, but all that 30% doesn't happen until the very end of the duration of the Orc of Malevolence. So just basically do as much damage as you possibly can so that when the Orchid Burn does actually hit on top of them, excuse me, when the Orchid Burn actually does hit on top of them, they actually die. But we're getting to that point to where 30% of the damage that Abaddon deals to somebody, that's probably not going to do much. That's probably like one extra auto attack coming up from Abaddon, because he is hitting pretty darn hard. Even without any sort of buff, that Blinder is offering really giving him a lot of bonus damage. Actually, hold on, does Alchemy give him bonus damage? What? It doesn't bonus damage? No, it just attacks me. Oh, it does give him bonus damage. Okay, 80, wow, okay, that was coming out for Alchemy. Or Alacrity. Alacrity, that's the actual word for it. Phantom Assassin, at a crossroads, she doesn't know what to get. I think she needs to give herself a Rapier plus Aegis and win. And speaking of a devil, Roshan will be back up. Speaking of the devil as well, Roshan is kind of a devil. Roshan will be back up sometime soon. I don't know who has Aegis, but somebody had Aegis. MKB is up on Prophet. Very smart item choice, especially going versus a Phantom Assassin. She has built-in evasion. Just basically get rid of that ability altogether. The only thing that Phantom Assassin's passive would do for her now versus a Prophet is basically make her not visible to the enemy team on the mini-map. Which is not, I mean, nobody really cares because everybody's going to be looking in the same spot. You're going to be fighting in the same spot. And everybody's going to know, it's like, oh, Phantom Assassin's attacking here. Attack Phantom Assassin, and then this, that, and the other. So pretty much negating Phantom Assassin's passive, this is what I'm saying. That's what they're doing. Well, Prophet is. Everybody else is still going to feel it. And I'm actually really sad to see that Phantom Assassin did decide not to go for BKB, or Battle Fury. Battle Fury would be really nice. And she probably wants to go for her satanic, but she needs to make sure she has enough gold for a buyback as well. Because if she does go down in the fight, she does definitely need to buy back as soon as she possibly can. Because she is the primary damage dealer for her team. She's hitting pretty darn hard. And actually, we might be seeing a fight happen around the corner. Sankey's going to scout out. Try to see what he can find. And we got the tornado thrown out by Invoker. It will be catching a few people. No, only catches Sankey. Sankey will burst strike away. These guys do want to try to go for Alacrity. He's used on top of Abaddon. Abaddon will be backing away. Eating a little bit of damage from that Tinker with his shield, and he's actually going for an MKB as well. MKBs all around. MKBs are huge items. Not only do they give you the true sight attack, or true attack, what's it called? True strike. Not only do they give you true strike, which pretty much negates. Oh man, BKB used by Phantom Assassin. Not too sure what's up with that. But Phantom Assassin just totally used her BKB. That was really weird. But yeah, that BKB that's pretty much one BKB charge down. Windrunner actually buys herself a BKB because she doesn't want to get hit with any more stuns. Abaddon really needs to buy himself a BKB. He's probably the most important person to buy a BKB right now. Prophet with a BKB would be nice, but Prophet can buy back. He has the gold too. Invoker with a BKB, and not as useful as Invoker with Cheap Stick. Or Tornado Stick even. But Abaddon really needs to get himself a BKB. That's like I said, it's one of the biggest items that he's missing. And we got a a Mirana ulti used up top. These guys do want to see if they can try to find somebody farming in the jungle. The Dire do know about this. I think I saw him scouting out with the Sentry Ward, or they scouting out with the Observer plus Sentry right on down here. But they're going to go ahead and back away. Sand King's around the corner. Sand King has himself a Ghost Scepter, really nice item to have, especially when Abaddon is hitting for what he's hitting, and also Prophet's hitting for what he's hitting. But it's also a double-edged sword because Invoker does do a lot of nuke damage with just spells. So having a Ghost Scepter increase your magic or decrease your magic resistance by 40% is actually quite a big deal. So it's 15% increase in damage that he's going to be feeling. And we got a rotation coming from Roshan. These guys do want to go for Roche. Roche won't be up in another few minutes. And actually, no, Smoke King. Sorry. Smoke King coming up from the Dire side. These guys do want to see if they can catch somebody farming. They will be able to find themselves a Mirana. Of all people, Mirana will be going down. Tornado coming out from Invoker. It might have saved her life. No, it will not be enough to save her life. And there's a cold snap from Invoker as well. Mirana gets shackled to a tree. She goes down. Meanwhile, up top, we got Prophet in a similar situation, but he's going to be able to TP out. TP's coming up top. 2 TPs. Rubick comes in first, followed up by the Windrunner. These are probably the most important people that TP in first, because if they die, nobody really cares. Pretty much the only reason why. Rubick does have leak, but he's pretty much going to die to a few auto attacks coming out from the Phantom Assassin. Phantom Assassin able to use her Stifling Dagger to slow down the Windrunner on the corner, but she's getting slowed as crap in that ice wall. Just having a little bit of fun in the snow. Invoker Tornado to fly. It will be catching the Phantom Assassin, probably the best person to actually catch. Tinker's going to be getting caught inside of that shackle shot, and there's a Sunstrike from Invoker, so these guys do know he's over there. Tinker gets turned into a piggy. Prophet trying to go for the kill. He will not be able to get the kill, and oh my gosh, will Tinker be able to make it alive? Because the Sand King gets himself an epicenter off, and Abaddon will be popping his ulti. Shackle to a tree. Beautiful shackle coming out from Windrunner. Holy crap, I did not see that shackle at all. Phantom Assassin going to be going down, and now we got Leshrac trying to do what he can to keep his, trying to do what he can to make it best out of that situation. Not enough though, not nearly enough. Meanwhile, Tinker is going to be going down as well. I thought, did he buy back? I hope he didn't buy back. I really hope he didn't buy back. Oh man, Tinker bought back and died. Holy crap, that's a big, oh man, that's a big thing in their planes. And we got Sand King about to be going down. He's trying to go for the kill on top of Windrunner. He popped himself a Desolate Appearance, and I really think that's GG, guys. Or at least another tower and a half. Actually, no, I take it back. Luckily for the Radiant, the creeps are way back away from the towers, so they do have they do have some room for error. But of course, if they lose another team fight, they're probably going to be losing 2 sets of racks instead of just 1. Especially considering the fact that Tinker has buyback on cooldown, which I honestly don't think he needed to buy back whenever he did buy back. Because having a 6 minute buyback cooldown is actually a big deal, especially when you get to the late game, or ultra late game, which is probably about the 70 minute mark, 80 minute mark. Which I think this game could easily go down to that, but it probably won't, because pretty much the next team to win, the next team to win the team fight will probably be the team that wins. Abaddon taking quite a bit of damage coming out from these illusions, and Mirana will be, nope, never mind, she dodges a Sunstrike. As soon as that can still do the bottle. Sheepstick is up on Leshrac, Satanic is up on Phantom Assassin, and that's pretty much going to change a lot of these team fights. I still really want to see Abaddon get a BKB. I really don't know why he doesn't have a BKB. He's probably saving him for buyback right now, but geez, please get a BKB, man. BKB and call it a day. How much does he need for buyback? He needs a lot of gold for buyback. I just dropped something. Oh, scissors. Scissors dropped on the floor. So as things are starting to get to that point to where the XP graph is starting to reach 0, as you guys can see right there. Perfect example of what I always say. Here's the XP graph. As I always say about XP graph, the XP graph is relatively irrelevant because long and long the game goes on, close to 0, but still a really nice indicator of where everybody's at the current point in time. And as you guys can see, this game has been going on for quite a long time, and it is really approaching 0. Like, it's literally approaching 0. Even the supports are probably in the 20s by now. Probably everybody is 20 and up. I was going to go ahead and make that call. Yes, everybody is 20 and up. Leshrac is 21, so he just became legal for all the drinking alcohol and things. So he's probably pretty happy. You know, going to go celebrate with a diabolical edict. Ada, like, honestly, that'd be really funny if that's the name of a drink. Anywho. Tinker trying to push back what he can, but it's really difficult for Prophet or Tinker to get the creep wave moving in their favor. Mainly because if Prophet decides to TP down bottom and push the wave, then Tinker would just TP down bottom right after him and push the wave right on back. So it's like I said before, it's really a balance type thing. The only difference between these two teams is the fact that you have a Phantom Assassin who's doing crazy amounts of damage with just a few auto attacks, versus the Abaddon who's really survivable and can survive all these fights, but he can't necessarily get all the damage when he wants to have the damage. And actually, he might be going out. He gets we got a shackle coming up from Windrunner, a beautiful shot coming up for her. Nobody's focused on Abaddon just yet. There we go. We got Tinker throwing a laser, just trying to heal him up a little bit more. After pop the shield on top of Abaddon. Abaddon able to dodge all that damage coming up from that, and he will. Whoa! He exploded. He just disappeared. His flat disappeared. Phantom Assassin able to finish him off with a nice little auto attack. Buyback coming up from Abaddon. Phantom Assassin trying to go in for the kill on top of this Windrunner. Windrunner just being as survivable as possible. After pop the shield coming on top of Windrunner, she's able to make it out. No, she's able to survive for a split second, get another auto attack off, but not enough. Abaddon's back into the fight, but his ulti needs 12 seconds for cooldown. Will he be able to make it to cooldown? No, he goes down once again. That's pretty much oh man, this might be GG, guys. Windrunner comes back in. She bought back as well. She has a BKB pop, but she does like no damage. It's so sad. Tornado coming out from Invoker around the corner, able to catch these guys off. I think he's trying to catch the Sand King. I'm not too sure who he's trying to catch, but he might be going on. Yes, he will be going on. Dagon used on one side. There's a laser, there's a rocket to follow. Another auto attack coming up from Mirana. Buyback coming up from Invoker. And an arrow to fly from Mirana. Will it be able to hit by anybody? No, it will not. Sunstrike coming out from Invoker. Where did it go? Where did it go? I don't know where it went, but it went somewhere. Mirana's going to leap onto the high ground while Phantom Assassin kills Roshan right in front of her, right before her eyes. And these guys... Oh man, it's really crunch time. One tier 4 tower for the Dire has gone down, and Roshan's going to be going down. Aegis will be going to the Phantom Assassin. And there's a tornado coming up from Invoker. Invoker does have blink dagger, so he can't blink in and try to keep these guys away from it. Will they be able to stop him? It's a big question. Phantom Assassin once again picks up the Aegis, and this looks familiar. I think we've seen this before, guys. I think we've seen this before. Windrunner trying to do as much damage as possible to Tinker. Tinker's just zapping her right on back around the corner. Meanwhile, we got Rubick going down. Not too big of an issue. Prophet does buy back. He went down, so he bought back. That's a big issue, because that means he won't have buyback next time. And Phantom Assassin is going to be chasing this Windrunner. She will be blink striking towards her, getting the A-blade off, just for the Windrunner, saying, yes, you are special too. And she gets the kill on top of that. Invoker's still alive. He blocked into trees, I think. Or maybe he just walked into trees. Prophet is the only one left to actually help these guys push back, or sorry, keep these guys alive. Will he be able to do it? I'm not too sure. There's no gem on any side. And oh my god, I forgot to breathe.
Dire's structures are
okay, Invoker's around the backside. He's going to throw out Tornado. It will hit nobody. I think it stopped the Tinker from TPing. No, it did not stop Tinker from TPing. And Invoker, will he be going down? He pops his Ghost Walk just barely in time. Sand King pops himself a Dust of Appearance. Invoker goes down. And there's Abaddon. Abaddon's back alive. I really don't know why Abaddon doesn't have a BKB, but he really needs one. He will be going out. Look at the crits coming out from Phantom Assassin. Holy crap. Abaddon able to pop his ulti, or his ulti actually went off in, wow, piggy foam. Are you kidding me? That was actually pretty crazy, but he's still going to be going out regardless, and that is pretty much GG, guys. The Ancient is exposed. The Dire have put up a really good fight. GG, well played indeed. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad I was able to catch this one.
Dire's Ancient is under attack.
And I had to go take some breathing treatments, because I need breathing treatments after that, guys. I don't know how long I've been speaking without breathing, but it hurts. It hurts to speak anymore, guys. It hurts. Oh god, the pain. The pain. That's what Vidimancer would say. So that was a really epic game, 60 minutes and 59 seconds. Like I said in the middle of the cast, I will not mind if this game went on to the 60-minute mark, and I still don't mind. I just need to go take a shower and go to bed because I have a long, like I said, a long day of work ahead of me. I'm sorry, I had a long day of work ahead of me, haha, because I forgot you guys are watching this while I'm working. Because I'm magical like that with YouTube scheduling and all that. So anyway, big shout out to all the players in this game. I typically don't give big shout outs to all the players in the game, but I mean, dude, this game was freaking awesome. The Radiant had it, then they lost it, and then they got it back, and then they lost it, and then the Dire had it, and then they had it for a while, and then the Dire lost it, and then the Radiant came back, and then boom, team fight here, team fight there, Abaddon dies, and then Phantom Assassin dies, and then you don't know who's gonna win, then boom, goes to Dynamite, the Radiant win. So I hope you guys enjoyed the game. This was a heck of a game, and I'm just gonna stop rambling, and I'll see you guys whenever.